We're back.
Double coverage, double coverage, double coverage.
Mama, we made it.
The network picked us up. We're like established now.
We need the signs that says like clap, cheer, laugh.
J-Mac here, D-Mac to the right. Welcome to Double Coverage.
What's up, everybody? I am your host, J-Mac. To my left, D-Mac. Welcome to Double Coverage with the McCourty twins. This is episode number
20, man. On NESN.
Yes, I think we're going to go on a hiatus. This is the finale of season, whatever number we're on at this point. As you guys know, you can find us right here on NESN as you've been doing the entire season. If you miss us there, you can find us on YouTube or iTunes. All you have to do is search Double Coverage with the McCourty twins. And as always, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at McCourty twins. And make sure you go check out our website, McCourtyTwins.com, to pick up some cool merchandise and to keep up with everything we're doing off the field.
Yeah, and the wives let us down today. I had this incredible intro planned. I thought of it all by myself.
He thought it was real funny. I wasn't
gonna be funny, but his wife had a dentist appointment, ruined everything. But for all New Englanders, be happy. New England is done, but Tom Brady is going to his 10th Super Bowl. It's like your child. He 6th round, 199 pick. Your child, he left home. He left the nest. He is supposed to sever with the parents and find him a wife and then go.
So his wife is Tampa Bay?
I mean, whatever you want to call it, he found success. You got to be happy.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I watched that game Sunday, and I was sitting in awe. Because I think when he got there, we all were like, hey, like, Brady's going to have a chance to go back to the Super Bowl. But it's kind of like the same feeling I had when I first got to New England. Everybody's like, oh, you'll get a chance to go to the Super Bowl. But in reality, it's so hard to get there. So for this guy to be in one place for 20 years, leave, take a team that didn't make the playoffs last year, haven't made the playoffs in a while, and now they're going to be playing on Super Bowl Sunday. Gronkowski is out there too, caught the tight end screen, huge play in the game.
Huge play.
But man,
shout out Gronk, 2010 class, still holding it down.
It's impressive to see what Tom has continued to do throughout his career. I mean, I'm a huge fan. I wouldn't have a ring if it wasn't for Tom, and you wouldn't have 3 of them. So be happy.
Thanks, man.
Be appreciative.
I appreciate him. I'm going to shoot him a text, let it die down, shoot him a text, wish him luck.
He's busy. He's busy.
Go get 7. He knows the motto. Don't get there if you're not going to win. And he's going to show those guys what it means to win. Sticking to that game, Green Bay, down 8.
Oh, you gotta go for it. And I understand you're thinking points, no points. But to me, because of the situation, all right, if they kick the field goal, they're still down. They need a touchdown. Now, the difference is opposed to tying the game up. If you
with a 2-point,
you tie the game up if you don't get it there and you get the ball back. Well, if you kick 3, you get the ball back and you score a touchdown, you've won the game. But you got to do all of those things beforehand. And I think, to be honest, for me, it was like, hey, we got to go for it because no matter what, we still got to go on defense. We have to get a stop, regardless of anything of who the quarterback is for the other team. I know it's Tom Brady, but we got to get a stop. We got to get the ball back, and we have to score a touchdown. Now, if that field goal would have allowed them to kick another field goal and be able to tie or win the game, I could understand it. But obviously, Aaron Rodgers agreed.
And if you don't get it, the ball, I think, was on like the 10 or the 12-yard line. So now if you get a stop, you'll even have better field position than kicking a field goal. But hindsight's 2020. Yeah. And you don't really want to kick to Tom Brady. Let's be honest.
And I think he said it after the game, LaFleur. Whenever a decision doesn't work out, you always have regrets. Exactly. I mean, all of us, we're not playing, so we're sitting on the couch, we're watching, we can comment.
Nothing like a coach from the couch.
No doubt.
Best in the business.
No doubt.
Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid. The crew is headed back to another Super Bowl. Looks familiar, something we've done in the past. Not want to toot our own horn. But they're headed back.
You say we, I wasn't a part of that.
Sorry to hear that. But they're headed back, and they let the world know that they're headed back. This is a tough team. They just have everything, and especially you looked at Buffalo throughout the year. How do you stop the passing game? Diggs, John Brown, Beasley. Kansas City went out there, and I mean, for most of the game, they covered, and they covered well. You saw Josh Allen scrambling, trying to create plays. But with that rush and how they covered, it's just a great game plan.
And I think, too, Buffalo just didn't match up well against them because they're a team that doesn't really run the ball. They want to pass the ball. And when you're playing against an offense that Kansas City has with Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, all of those guys, if you don't possess the ball long enough, being able to run it, get time off the clock, and you just continue to get them the ball back and you're not stopping them. And I saw the whole debate where people asked McDermott about kicking field goals. You can't go into the game and be scared for your life to the point where you're just going to say, hey, every time we get in the red area, we're just going to go for it on all four downs. You still have to play the game of football. You have 3 chances to score. You don't score. You still want to put points on the board to continue to be able to play in the game and be competitive.
And maybe at some point you stop kicking field goals and you're like, we got to go. But it's not like they were totally out of the game.
Yeah.
Like, it was a tough, as they start to fall behind and Kansas City start to mount. But, like, that's where you got to get some defensive stops. And it was tough. Like you said, Kansas City has a lot of weapons. And I think the hard thing when you play Kansas City, you have to take something away. You can't let Tyreek Hill
and
go
Travis
9
Kelce.
catches for 100 and something yards and Kelce go 11 catches for 100 and something yards. Like
13.
You have to slow them down and take at least one of those guys away. And not let them have the huge games, because if they do, it's going to be tough.
Getting away from the actual football field and the game itself. What's your thoughts on Stephon Diggs staying out there watching Kansas City celebrate? I think it was Cincinnati, the young kid there, did that in their bowl game. Is that like, oh man, he's dedicated?
Listen, no one feels worse than another guy on that team. They all worked incredibly hard, and Diggs comes from Minnesota. A lot of diva nonsense talk about him. Buddy's a dog. He goes out there, works his butt off. But there's some other guys out there in Buffalo who've been there for years to struggle. Like, they were crushed too. So I'm not mad at the act. I'm mad at how it gets portrayed. The media takes and they run with like, Stephon Diggs cares more than anybody in that locker room. Like, we don't know that. Like, they all care. He just chose to display that a different way.
Is there a sense of being in a locker room? The coach is probably getting his words to the team. Everybody's kind of taking in what just transpired.
Last guys in.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, I understand it, and I like, as competitors, like you just said, Diggs he competes hard each and every week. But I would like to see, as a team, we get to the locker room. You know what I mean? If you want to get to the locker room, go back out and watch the celebration to kind of remember the feeling. I get it, but that's just my 2 cents.
In that moment, it's tough. Like, I've lost some of those big games. You're just out there. It's like, what just happened? But I think they all feel bad. Like,
no
not
question.
Just Diggs.
No question. Now the Lions and Matthew Stafford decide to part ways, and that's beginning what we'll get into after the break is a little bit of a quarterback carousel that could happen this offseason.
If anybody's watching, there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. I mean, we're going to be in that. We're going to be in that race. Does Cam come back? Did we get a new quarterback? Like, no one knows that. Shoot, we don't know if we'll be back. We're old now, so we'll keep our ears to the door.
Well, one quarterback that won't be back, Phillip Rivers, decided to retire this week. One of your favorite quarterbacks. I know you said that. So
big fan of Phillip Rivers, and it was so cool after he announced his retirement, watching him play against the Patriots with the torn ACL. Just a competitor, like you said about Diggs. The guy competes his butt off. Puts it all out on the line. So the game will definitely miss seeing Phillip Rivers.
Especially his trash talk, doggone it.
And I think another guy, Greg Olsen, shout out Greg Olsen,
New Jersey
guy.
Yep.
I remember watching him in high school. He was like
Wayne
2 years
Hills.
older than us, 6'6", catching the ball over everybody. So another amazing career, different stops along the way in Chicago, Carolina, and Seattle. Great player and really one of those guys that got vertical, made big catches from the tight end position. So not fun to watch some of those guys you watch retire because it lets you know how old you are. But you have to give credit. Great careers.
Only one coaching vacancy left, Houston, as they continue to do their second round of interviews. Philly has hired their guy from Indy, Nick Sirianni. So it's the coaching, I mean,
who knows who could
filling
end up
up.
coach next. I'm trying to convince my wife the way this is rolling, we can retire in a year or two and give it 4 to 5 years. We could be running our own team.
You got to also be successful. Like, you got to go out there and coach and
I'll just go to a team that has a defensive-minded coach. He'll call the defense, and I'll just be the D coordinator. They say that's the best way to get a job. Who really knows how they hire? But we do want to give a big shout-out right here. Sarah Thomas becomes the first female official in a Super Bowl. Diversity in NFL refereeing. Got a woman in there. Let's continue to Diversified.
Washington
NFL.
hired their first full-time assistant
King,
coach.
yep.
Yeah, so
and African American female assistant coach.
So it's growth. I think it's really cool. Hopefully,
really slow, baby.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a few more head coaches. African American.
Houston's going African American. I'm calling it.
Okay, You talked to. I mean, because you know some of the higher ups over there. So, well, this week we welcomed in a new president, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the VP, had the inauguration. Our old dear friend Donald Trump did not stick around to welcome in.
I'm out of here.
The new tenants of the White House. But do you feel some type of way about that? I know because as competitors, like we're sore losers. You lose a Super Bowl, you're not shaking hands with everybody after, but there's tradition and the president stays to welcome him in, but we're not surprised.
I think I've lost 2 Super Bowls. I might have shook 2 hands on the way into the locker room, seeing someone that like I knew. Like I think honestly, I think it might have only been Malcolm Jenkins. As I was walking in, I saw him.
So if you're the president, you're not staying around for that?
I'm staying around though for that.
Okay.
Like that's not like a harsh loss. That's not like, bro.
It's been coming.
The president already got elected back in November, bro. You knew this day was coming. But I will say, Trump consistency stays. He decides to make kind of a childish move, some would say, and he clears. He doesn't care what you think. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Conor McGregor should care a little bit more about getting in that ring, well, in the octagon, I guess I shall say, as he went to sleep. Didn't fare too well in that.
Dustin Poirier. Loses to him in 2014, becomes a better fighter.
Redemption.
And he wants to prove it. And it was harsh, man. Watching that, just seeing that, like, UFC's harsh now. It's real in there, in that octagon, and really just beat the man to sleep.
Yeah, and I think if you're a fan, you've just watched McGregor dominate for so long. But that's the reality of sport. You know, the younger guys come along, and as you continue to go, I mean, sometimes it's your time.
Especially as you get older, you have to stay super dedicated.
Yeah.
Ask Tom Brady.
Yeah.
On, I guess I would say sadder news, we lose a legend, Hank Aaron. Dies at the age of 86. Really a pioneer in whether it was civil rights, whether it was advancing the game of baseball. And it was just cool to see relationship with Muhammad Ali. Just those guys who were really,
all of those guys.
Yeah, really like the
way.
grandfathers for all of the guys out there now, the Malcolm Jenkins, the Kaepernicks, the guys who continue to fight and do those things. It started with a lot of these guys.
True.
So just seeing that and seeing like Bill Russell check in and seeing the Muhammad Ali quote saying the only man he admired more than himself was Hank Aaron. So
yeah, really cool. And in other news too, this is a 1 year just passed of Kobe Bryant's passing. So very sad. Obviously, the impact that he had on the world.
Still tough to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you can now because you can vividly remember last year when the news broke of not believing it,
knowing where you were,
and seeing the reality of it. Somebody that really impacted not only the game of basketball but people's life, the way he lived his life, the Mamba mentality, very special.
Yeah, man.
Hashtag girl dad.
Continue to pray for the Bryant family.
Let's get back into football a little bit. Like we said earlier in the last segment.
The QB carousel.
The quarterback carousel. All
Read
right,
them, J-Man.
here you go. These are guys that have question marks for next season. Deshaun Watson, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Jimmy Garoppolo, Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater, Mitchell Trubisky, Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Alex Smith, and Big Ben Roethlisberger.
So we got Big Ben, Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl champs, Carson Wentz, a Super Bowl champ, Jimmy Garoppolo, a Super Bowl champ. Not 2 of those guys didn't start in that Super Bowl game. Matt Stafford, Dak. Like, these are proven all-pro, Pro Bowl players who might end up being on another team. Does Ben retire? Or would Ben wear new threads? I mean, he just watched Tom. He just watched Phillip Rivers do it.
Yeah, very true.
I mean,
do you look at this list and say, hey, I want one of these guys to quarterback my team next year?
I wouldn't mind a lot of these guys quarterback my team. I'll start off with saying I wouldn't mind seeing my guy Cam Newton back. I thought he had a tough year coming in, no offseason, no anything. I mean, played in Super Bowl MVP, but I mean, look, Deshaun Watson stud, Aaron Rodgers stud, Stafford stud, Prescott stud, Wentz stud, Jimmy G stud. You know, Teddy B, stud.
I mean, don't call the whole list studs.
No, I mean, but
if the whole list was studs, then it wouldn't be so many.
Jimmy took him to the Super Bowl.
It wouldn't be so, but not this year. They didn't make the playoffs. Teddy Bridgewater and the Panthers didn't make the playoffs.
I like Teddy
Cam
B,
Newton
though.
and the Patriots didn't make the playoffs. Dak's coming off an injury.
Where he was leading
Carson
the league.
Wentz stunk it up this year. Didn't end the season starting. So
he's
like,
taken
yes,
to the play-
yes.
to the Super Bowl.
Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford and the Lions didn't make the playoffs. But Matthew Stafford and
As talented as
Deshaun
they
Watson,
come,
those guys
come on.
have dominated. But Jameis Winston didn't play really
He
this
threw the
year. So,
touchdown,
I mean,
though.
there's a lot of guys on this list that are going to be starting on Sundays next year. And it's crazy to think that this much movement could happen.
Tom Brady
there may
started
be
all of
more
this.
quarterbacks who have question marks than guys that we know for sure where they'll be next year.
We'll jump right into the Dan O'Brien keeping it awesome moment of the week.
What you got?
I mean, you know what we got, New England. We got Tom Brady not only just advancing to his 10th Super Bowl appearance, but the man, COVID's going on. You can't go here. You can't go there. You don't deny Tom Brady. Runs over to the stands
Finds
and
his
says, "Can I hug my son? Can he come down?" And I thought that was an unbelievable moment. The guy's 43 years old. I'm considered old, and he's 10 years older than me. I mean, finds his son. Son comes down. I don't know. I hope he was in a box, but it looked like he wasn't. Comes down.
He might have been making his way out. He knew what the outcome was going
Yeah,
to be.
runs down, gives his dad a hug. And I think sometimes we miss. Those are the moments that are so cool that you cherish as an athlete because you know how much time you spend away doing the things that you do to become great. And I thought that's why I look at like even losing Kobe Bryant hurt you, even though you didn't know him, because he spoke to us and he was very open and vulnerable, talked about missing time with his daughters and how much he would wake up, 2 hours earlier to go, shoot, come back, take them to school, like doing all those things. So to see that moment where Tom leaves New England, has all of these question marks, is he a system quarterback? Is he this? All a bunch of nonsense. And he wins the NFC Championship, and the first person he sees, and you can see throughout the game, he was pointing over there, and you know who he's pointing to, and it's his son, his oldest son, comes down, gives him a hug. Just an unbelievable moment.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I remember my playing time in Tennessee. I'm doing an interview on the field after the game, and it's up on the Jumbotron, and I have a picture of my daughter looking up at the Jumbotron waving as you see me on the Jumbotron. And like moments like that are really cool that you can't take away. So shout out to TB12 to keeping it awesome.
Keeping the moments rolling in year 21.
Let's get into some Twitter questions. Tracy asks, devoted to HR, outside of the Super Bowl, what game was the absolute worst loss you've experienced? For me, it's kind of two-part. I can go with my last high school basketball game I played in, where I was probably in tears because it was the realization that I was not going to be in an organized basketball game ever
You played
again.
in some charity games, though, right?
Ever again in my life. I knew that was it. It wasn't going to, the 5'11" guard was not going to surpass that moment. Or I can go into 2009, my rookie year, traveling up to New England, losing the game 59-0. It rained, it snowed, it sleeted, and it also had Tom Brady, Wes Welker, and Randy Moss all in the same game, so we didn't fare too well.
For me, I would say probably 2015 AFC Championship game and 13. Put them both in the same boat. We're in Denver. And we got a chance to go to the Super Bowl playing against that Peyton Manning Denver-led team. Obviously, the 2015
I was at
team
that game.
goes on to win the Super Bowl. And I would say 15 probably hurt more because we're in the game. I think Peyton Manning only had 186 yards passing against us. Like, it wasn't just a terrible game. We give up some key plays in the red area, really decided the game early to Owen Daniels. But just the back and forth and to watch our offense drive down. And Gronk splits two guys in a double team to catch, and it comes down to a 2-point, 18-20, and we don't get it, and we lose that game. That hurt because I felt like if we got there, we would have won it. I felt like we would have beat Carolina.
Tough loss. Yeah, I can't imagine losing in a conference game. I'm 1-0 in my conference game.
Yeah. From David at Davy Gravy 1337. Which non-football sports are you looking forward to playing in the off season? Any chance I can convince you to come out for a round of disc golf?
I would probably say no to the disc golf. No interest there, but
I'm looking forward to 2K on the PS5. Just got me a PS5, man.
okay. Is it out? Is it here yet?
No, not yet. Picking it up tomorrow.
Well, you don't have it yet. For
Yeah.
me, I don't know if it'll be this off season, but there's soon going to be an off season that no longer is considered an off season, called retirement at some point. And whether that's this off season, the next one, it's coming up fast, and I will be getting back into basketball for fun.
Too old.
Playing.
You're
Wow.
too old.
What?
As soon as you get on that court the first day, this will start hurting, that'll start hurting.
Since I've been in the league, most of the guys I've played basketball with are older guys. It's a way to stay in shape and still get your competitive juices flowing.
We'll see what the hardwood has in store for those joints.
Yeah, I mean, you ever
heard of arthritis?
You have no shoulders. That's coming regardless.
Nah, they're getting back there. I've been rehabbing. Look at the jumper.
Nah.
Brad Stevens hit me 10 day as we wrap up the finale, episode 20 of 2020/21. It's been a fun ride, J-Mac.
It has. It's been a blast. I've gotten a chance to upgrade our surroundings. Got the same chairs though. You can't forget where you came from.
You got to keep your foundation.
Yes, some better pictures and stuff. Before we go, who you got in the Super Bowl? Are you going with your friend Tom Brady? Are you going with the smarter pick, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are favored to win by 3 points?
Only 3? Tom Brady favorite 3. Tom Brady go. Tampa Bay Bucks. Congratulations, you are the 2021 Super Bowl champions. Go get your ring, fellas.
You know what's fun about this game, though? I've seen it all over social media. The GOAT versus the baby GOAT. This would have been like
Tom's first Super Bowl. Mahomes was 6 years old.
Getting a chance to see Kobe Bryant play against Michael Jordan. As Kobe was entering the league, yes, in the finals. We're getting a chance to see that. In 2018, they played in the AFC Championship game.
Classic.
I think this may be the passing of the torch as the GOAT hands it over to the baby GOAT. But we shall see. You guys know we appreciate you for tuning in all season throughout COVID, through doing it virtually where we couldn't be sitting next to each other. It's been one heck of a roller coaster ride. There's been a lot of things that's happened to not only us in the NFL world, but everybody all across the United States this year. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in and hanging with us. It's been a lot of fun, and there'll be more double covers at some point somewhere.
Yeah, keep up with us on YouTube, subscribe, iTunes, all your
Mama, we made it!
Oh, what a switch up. Maybe you'll see us on Fan Credit in a couple months. You never know, man. Shout out NESN. Appreciate you having us.
Yes, sir.